Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast with the Silvers. It is October 9th, 2023. Today's devotional is called Looking for the Messiah from Matthew 11:3. Are you coming? Oh, that's not what it says. Are you the coming one, or do we look for another? And you're in Matthew 11. I'm sorry. It's like,
Okay.
it's one sentence and I couldn't even get it right.
Another one of those greatest verses ever.
Yeah, so you're in 12 through 24.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Matthew 11, 12 through 24. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Real quick on that, verse 12. Now the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. That's not being, one that just sits on the pew, but one that seeks God. One that grabs a hold of him and won't let go until they get the more. That's what that's about. Okay. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath the devil. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. Then began he to upbraid the cities, wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than for you. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say unto you that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. The real.
Yeah. I want you to see how satanic power can work in the mind. Satan came to John when he was in prison. I find that Satan can come to any of us, but I want to prove that we have a greater power than Satan. In imagination, in thought, in everything. Satan came to John the Baptist in prison and said to him, Don't you think you have made a mistake? Here you are in prison. Isn't there something wrong with the whole business? After all, you may be greatly deceived about being a forerunner of the Christ. I find men who might be... I'm sorry. Let's do a take 2 of that. I find men who might be giants of faith, who might be leaders of society, who might rise to subdue kingdoms, Hebrews 11:33, who might be noble among princes, but they are defeated because they allow the suggestions of Satan to dethrone their better knowledge of the power of God. May God help us. John sent 2 of his disciples to ask Jesus, Are you the Messiah? How could Jesus send those men back with a stimulating truth, with a personal, effective power that would stir their hearts to know that they had met him, about whom all the prophets had spoken? What would declare it? How would they know? How could they tell it? Jesus answered and said to them, Go and tell John the things which you hear and see. The blind see, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. Matthew 11:4 and 5. And when they saw the miracles and wonders and heard the gracious words he spoke as the power of God rested upon them, they were ready to believe. Thought for today: unless we are filled or divinely insulated with the power of God, we may be defeated by the power of Satan.
It's really good. Really good. Thank you for joining us.
See you tomorrow.